Step back where you belong. The words cracked through the terminal like a whip. Gate B27, Chicago O'Hare. The pilot's tone carried authority sharpened by arrogance, the kind that made people freeze mid-breath. A woman in a navy suit stopped short, boarding pass still between her fingers. The chatter around her faltered. For a heartbeat, all you could hear was the low hum of the moving walkway and a baby crying somewhere behind security. Evelyn Carter didn't move. She didn't blink. She just stood there, a calm center in a storm of eyes. The pilot, Captain Walker, adjusted his cap and spoke louder. "Ma'am, this flight is for executive priority travelers. Please step aside." The air thickened. A few passengers exchanged looks, one or two uncomfortable, one already recording. Evelyn finally spoke, voice low but clear. "Excuse me." Walker smirked. "You heard me. We've had issues with people sneaking into the premium line lately. Let's not make this awkward." The gate agent hesitated. "Captain, her boarding pass scans as seat 2A. He waved a dismissive hand. "Then there's a system glitch. She doesn't look like someone flying first class." The words hit like a slap. Gasps, whispers, a soft, "Did he really just say that?" rippled through the line. Evelyn's hand tightened around her carry-on handle, but her tone stayed steady. "You might want to check again." "I don't need to," Walker replied. "I can spot a fake upgrade from a mile away." Someone near the wall muttered, "That's messed up." Evelyn's jaw set. She'd been here before. Not this gate, not this man, but this kind of moment. The quiet testing of her worth. The disbelief that her success could belong to her. "Officer," Walker said, gesturing to security nearby. "Escort her for verification." The officer hesitated. "Sir, she hasn't done anything wrong." Walker's voice hardened. "Then make her cooperate." Phones lifted higher. The officer glanced at Evelyn, uncertain. "You can touch me," she said softly. "But make sure your camera is on when you do." The officer froze. Walker scowled. "You're wasting everyone's time." Evelyn's eyes met his. "No, Captain. I'm recording how you spend it." Her phone vibrated once in her hand. She answered without looking away. "Yes, Ava," she said into the receiver. A calm voice responded. "Ms. Carter, we're seeing this live. Would you like to initiate the corporate oversight protocol?" Evelyn's reply was almost a whisper. "Yes. Gate B27. Document everything." The voice confirmed. Internal review activated. The announcement carried over the PA system, crisp and undeniable. Every head turned. The gate agent's monitor flickered, then froze with a red warning. "Access restricted. Corporate audit in progress." "What the hell is this?" Walker demanded. Evelyn tilted her head. "That would be your employer." A murmur spread through the passengers. Someone said quietly, "She works for the airline." Another corrected, "No, she runs it." Walker laughed, too loud. "You expect me to believe that?" Evelyn took a step closer, her heels clicking like a countdown. "You fly for Horizon Air. And I'm Evelyn Carter, the Chief Executive Officer." Silence. Then the gate agent's hand flew to her mouth. The officer stepped back. Walker's face drained of color. The intercom came alive again. "Captain Walker, this is Horizon Corporate Oversight. Your flight clearance is suspended pending investigation. Please surrender your ID." He turned toward the sound, dazed. "You can't do that." Evelyn's voice stayed calm. "You grounded me for who I am. Now I'm grounding you for what you've become." Applause started from the back. One person, then 10, then the entire waiting area. The noise swelled, rolling like a wave through the terminal. Walker's shoulders sagged as another pilot approached, hat in hand. "Ms. Carter, not all of us are like him." "Then prove it," she said. "Change starts on the ground, not in a boardroom." The officer beside her stood straighter now, his posture shifting from doubt to respect. The gate agent whispered, "Ms. Carter, I'm so sorry. I didn't know." "You didn't have to know me," Evelyn said. "You only had to treat me with respect." The young woman who'd been recording stepped forward, voice trembling. "Ma'am, everyone here saw what he did. Thank you for standing your ground." Evelyn gave a faint nod. "Keep filming. Truth deserves witnesses." Walker's voice cracked. "You humiliated me in front of everyone." "No," Evelyn said. "You did that yourself. I just turned on the lights." The intercom chimed one last time. "Attention passengers, Flight 382 is canceled pending corporate review." Gasps. Applause again. Evelyn turned toward the window. Morning lights spilled across the tarmac. planes gleaming in the quiet. For a long moment, even the engines outside seemed to hold still. "Ava," she said into her phone. "Yes, Miss Carter." "Send a message to all Horizon staff," Evelyn said, her tone measured and resolute. "Remind them, dignity flies first." Then she walked through the gate, not to board, but to lead. "Ma'am, I'm not going to repeat myself. Step aside." Captain Walker's voice cut through the terminal like a whip. Gate C-14 at Atlanta International went silent. Conversations froze, footsteps halted, and every head turned toward the woman he was talking to, Evelyn Carter, dressed in a slate gray suit, boarding pass in hand, her calm composure contrasting the sudden hostility in the air. She didn't flinch. She didn't argue. She simply stood there, still as the eye of a storm, while the captain's jaw tightened. "This flight is for priority travelers only," he said again, each word coated in disdain. Someone in line whispered, "She has a first-class ticket." Walker's eyes narrowed. "Not likely." He reached for her boarding pass, scanning it as if touching proof of her belonging would infect him. "Seat 2A. His laugh was dry. "That's not a seat for someone like you." The silence thickened. Phones lifted. A few passengers exchanged uneasy glances. Evelyn spoke at last, her tone even. "Someone like me?" Walker smirked. "Fake upgrades happen all the time. You people always think." He didn't finish. Because the gate agent, Lindsay, spoke up, voice trembling. "Captain, her ticket is verified. System shows her in 2A. Walker turned on her. "Then your system's wrong." "It's not," Evelyn said softly. "You are." A murmur spread through the crowd. A man in a business suit whispered, "He said that out loud?" Another muttered, "This isn't right." Security began to approach, uncertain. Evelyn's boarding pass fluttered slightly in her hand, not from fear, but restraint. Walker folded his arms. "Escort her to secondary screening. We don't let frauds on our planes." The nearest officer hesitated. "Sir, she's calm. She's not resisting." Walker snapped. "Then make her." That did it. Phones went up higher. Cameras clicked. One young woman in a denim jacket whispered, "This is being recorded. It's already online." Evelyn looked at the officer, her gaze steady. "You can touch me if you need to," she said. "But make sure your body camera is on when you do." The man froze, his hand halfway extended. The tension was electric, visible, humming through the crowd. Walker scoffed. "You're wasting everyone's time." "No," Evelyn replied, voice calm as ever. "I'm revealing how you spend it." Her phone buzzed once. She pressed the screen without looking down. A composed, clear voice came through. "Miss Carter, this is Ava. We have eyes on the situation. Would you like to activate internal review protocol?" "Yes," Evelyn said. "Gate C-14. Record everything." The words fell like a gavel. The murmuring crowd went silent again. Walker frowned. "What do you think you're doing?" Evelyn met his eyes. "Reminding you who you work for." Lindsay, still behind the desk, gasped as her monitor flashed red. "Captain, my screen just locked me out." "What do you mean?" "It says restricted by corporate audit." "That's impossible," he said, his voice losing its confidence. "Reset it." She tried. The message repeated. "Access denied." Then, from the airport intercom, "Attention, personnel at Gate C-14. This is Horizon Air corporate oversight. Cease all passenger engagement immediately." A ripple of disbelief moved through the crowd. Walker's face drained of color. What is this?" Evelyn took a single step forward. "That," she said evenly, "would be your employer." Someone whispered, "She works for them." Another voice corrected, awed, "She is them." Walker blinked. "You're joking." Evelyn's expression didn't move. "Captain Walker, you fly for Horizon Air. And I'm Evelyn Carter, Chief Executive Officer." The words detonated in the air. Lindsay's hand flew to her mouth. The officer took a full step back. Walker's eyes darted toward the cameras, toward the crowd, toward the badge on his chest that suddenly felt heavier than ever. "Ava," Evelyn said. "Yes, Miss Carter." "Confirm Captain Walker's credentials. Suspend his flight clearance effective immediately." "Confirmed," Ava replied. "Pilot credentials frozen pending investigation." Walker stammered. You can't do that." Evelyn's tone was surgical. "You grounded me for who I am. I'm grounding you for what you became." Applause started at the back, small, hesitant, then growing, swelling into thunder. The crowd was no longer afraid to be seen. Evelyn didn't smile. She didn't need to. Justice, she knew, didn't shout. It simply stood tall. The supervisor arrived, breathless. Captain Walker, corporate ordered your badge, surrendered. Walker's hands trembled as he unclipped it. I've flown for this company 20 years. Then you should have learned in year one, Evelyn said quietly. That respect flies higher than rank. A hush rippled through the terminal. Lindsay's voice broke the silence. Miss Carter, what happens now? Evelyn looked at her. Now we change how this company flies. She turned to the crowd. Keep your cameras up, she said. Transparency belongs to everyone. The next morning, Horizon Air headquarters in downtown Atlanta gleamed under sunrise. In glass rooms, employees replayed the footage from Gate C-14, the moment the CEO stood still while prejudice tried to drag her down. Evelyn entered the boardroom. No preamble. No smile. Let's begin, she said. She played the clip. Walker's voice echoed from the speakers. Get back to economy where you belong. No one spoke. Public relations suggests a written apology, one executive began. Evelyn cut him off. Apologies are what you say when you get caught. We are past that. I'm not here for words. I'm here for correction. The air thickened. This isn't one man's mistake, she continued. It's a comfort system. Comfort in bias. Comfort in silence. And comfort has no place at 30,000 feet. Ava entered with a document. Miss Carter, the revised code of conduct. Evelyn signed it immediately. Effective now. Every employee will be recertified in empathy and dignity protocols. Every captain, every attendant, every agent. One vice president cleared his throat. That'll be costly. So is discrimination, Evelyn said. But at least this investment pays in conscience. The day didn't end there. She met with staff, pilots, mechanics. She stood in front of thousands of employees at the Horizon Air auditorium. No notes, no teleprompter. Yesterday, she said, I was told I didn't belong on one of my own flights. That wasn't just an insult. It was a mirror. One that showed us who we've become. She paused. Power means nothing if it is used to exclude. Respect isn't optional. It's protocol. A pilot stood. Ma'am, not all of us are like him. Evelyn nodded. Then prove it. Show the world what integrity looks like with wings. Applause rose like wind through metal. When it calmed, she said, we built this airline to connect people. Now we'll start connecting humanity. Later that night, her office glowed against the skyline. Ava's voice came through the phone. Miss Carter, the press wants a statement. The video already spoke, Evelyn said. But they're asking what comes next. What comes next, she said, looking out over the city, is the hard part, rebuilding what bias broke. A knock at the door. Lindsay entered, clutching an envelope. Miss Carter, I came to resign. I stayed silent when I should have spoken. Evelyn read the letter, then folded it gently. You're not resigning. You're leading our new passenger dignity training. We need people who know the cost of silence. Lindsay's eyes filled. You mean that? Evelyn smiled faintly. Leadership begins when we stop defending comfort. When Lindsay left, Ava said quietly, that was unexpected. So is change, Evelyn replied. The next morning, major headlines read, CEO grounds prejudice, elevates accountability. In Horizon Air's operations center, Evelyn stood before glowing flight maps. How many planes in the air right now? She asked a technician. 172, he replied. Let's make sure every one of them flies with dignity. Ava approached. Some senior captains think you acted emotionally. Evelyn's gaze stayed on the screen. Emotion built the airplane. Logic just decided where to land it. By afternoon, the Department of Aviation had called. They wanted her new policy framework to make it an industry standard. Evelyn agreed. Humanity shouldn't need trademarks. That night, she addressed the nation from the Horizon Air media room. Cameras rolled. Employees watched from behind the glass. Yesterday, she began, I was told to step aside. Today, I'm saying no one will ever be told that again under this airline. Horizon Air will not tolerate discrimination disguised as discretion. We are grounding bias and giving dignity clearance to fly. Her voice didn't shake. It didn't need to. The truth carried itself. To every person who's ever been told you don't belong, she said, your worth doesn't need a boarding pass. You're already cleared for takeoff. The statement spread across the world within hours. Social media called it the Horizon Shift. Employees began using the hashtag #RespectFliesFirst. Later that evening, Evelyn stood by the terminal window, coffee in hand. Ava joined her. You changed everything, Ava said quietly. Evelyn shook her head. No, I just refused to let the wrong story keep flying. Outside, a Horizon airplane accelerated into the dark sky. The hum of its engines vibrated through the glass. Listen, Evelyn said. That's the sound of respect in motion. The plane climbed higher, lights glinting against the clouds, a symbol not of departure, but of arrival. Because justice doesn't scream. It ascends.